2018, the Kamuzu Barrage underwent a significant upgrade, enhancing its capacity to manage water. Good afternoon and welcome to the news on Zodiac. My name is Chansemo Zabanda. First, the headlines. Truck Drivers Union planning to hold protests over delayed access to passports compromising their performance. Tourism contribution to the country's GDP likely to drop by 1 billion kwacha due to impact of rising water levels on Lake Malawi. Ijenko and National Water Resources Authority sign MOU to facilitate transfer of Kamuzu Barrage management. And in sports, video assistant referee VAR simulator course for Malawian referees underway in Blantyre. Those were the headlines. We now give you the news in detail. Truck Drivers Union of Malawi says it will hold nationwide strike beginning tomorrow to force government to intervene on delayed access to passports affecting their work. The union's Vice Secretary Francis Mundhali told journalists in Lilongwe yesterday that a majority of their members have had their passports expired or pages filled up but cannot renew them despite assurances from government on the same. Minister of Information Moses Kunkuyu has called for patience from the truck drivers as government is doing everything possible to fix the problem. The National Planning Commission NPC says the recent rising water levels on Lake Malawi will affect annual tourism gross domestic product GDP contribution to the country's economy, which will likely drop by 1 billion kwacha. Research manager at NPC, Dr. Andrew Jamali, said this in Lilongwe during dissemination of a report on a survey conducted to determine the impact of the rising water levels on Malawi's economy. NPC has since challenged stakeholders to find solutions to the rising water levels on Lake Malawi, considering the likelihood that water levels will continue to rise this year. Health authorities say despite the country registering remarkable progress in HIV treatment and response, a lot still needs to be done to ensure specific groups such as children, main and key populations are getting tested and introduced on treatment if found HIV positive. Director of HIV/AIDS programs in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Rose Nyirenda, said this last night in Lilongwe when AIDS Healthcare Foundation celebrated that it's reaching out to 2 million clients with HIV care globally. AHF Country Program Manager for Malawi, Triza Kakobwehara, says the foundation, which is currently working with about 43,000 people with HIV in Malawi, will continue supporting government to lessen the HIV/AIDS burden. The Public-Private Partnership Commission (PPC) has asked the private sector to invest more in infrastructure development in an effort to change the face of Blantyre City. PPPC Chief Executive Officer Patrick Kabambe told journalists yesterday that as the physical space is becoming narrower, there is need to construct resilient and modern upstairs buildings in the commercial city. As Christopher Sunday reports, 4 billion kwacha has been set aside to construct 2 Jura amusement parks that will provide recreation and education programs to residents.
In the next 12 months, Blantyre is likely to have amusement parks, one at CI and the other one near Blantyre Sports Club close to Moody River, where authorities are expected to spend 4 billion kwacha. Public-Private Partnership Commission Chief Executive Officer Patrick Kabambe has since asked the private sector to invest more in infrastructure development.
As we can appreciate, Blantyre City is the commercial hub of Malawi. A lot of companies are based here. They are making investments and making profits. So we are calling on the private sector in Blantyre to work with the City Council in developing some of the infrastructure.
Dennis Chinseu is the Chief Executive Officer of Blantyre City Council.
The coming of the investor implies that now he's pumping in their own resources into the project. So for us, it's like they have saved us the burden of trying to look for resources to do that. Secondly, we should also be looking at the government of Malawi benefiting actually from the taxes, because people will be paying user fees.
Jura Adventures Director Charles Zimba says they will complete the construction works within the agreed time. Reporting for Zodiac, this is Christopher Sunday.
You're watching the news on Zodiac with me, Chance Mozabanda. We'll be back after this break.
Life moves fast, and so should your packages. Say goodbye to waiting and hello to convenience with Post Courier, your go-to courier service. When you choose Post Courier, you're choosing speed, reliability, and peace of mind. I can always count on Post Courier for quick and safe deliveries. They never let me down.
Mbatatisi ndi chakudya chokoma kwambiri. Mbatatisi yomwe yonse chuma kwa alimi otsogola komanso mavenda. Tsopano kwabwera mbatatisi ya mtundu wa chuma yomwe alimi akupha nayo makwacha. Chuma ndi mbatatisi yomwe imacha msanga masiku 90 okha, imayika kwambiri kupatsa alimi 40 tons pa hekta imodzi. Imapirira kung'amba ndi kuchita bwino ndi mvula yochepa. Imapiriranso kuchiwawo ndi tizilombo. Mbatatisi ya mtundu wa chuma ili ndi khungu lolimba, sisupuka, ndipo imakhalitsa ili bwinobwino komanso sipuka wamba. Ili ngulu la zakudya zokhutitsa ndipo imapatsa thanzi ndi mphamvu. Anthu ndi makampani opanga zakudya kuchoka ku mbatatisi monga chipisi, macrisps ndi zina akukonda kwambiri mbatatisi ya mtundu wa chuma. Pindulani thanzi ndi ndalama ndi mbatatisi ya mtundu wa chuma. Uthengawu akukupatsirani ndi International Potato Center ndi thandizo lochokera ku the Embassy of Ireland kudzera ku RTC Market Project.
Welcome back. The headlines as we continue. Truck Drivers Union planning to hold protest. Company Genco and the National Water Resources Authority have signed a memorandum of understanding that will facilitate transfer of Kamuzu Barrage management in Machinga to the authority. Genco's acting chief executive officer, Maxon Chitao, says the institution targets to focus on its electricity generation mandate, hence the move. Board chairperson for the authority, James Mambulu, says this will enhance availability and proper management of water resources, especially Shire River, which distributes water to over 7 institutions downstream. The National Commission for Science and Technology has asked government to consider increasing funding to support the research and innovation sector. The Commission's Director of Planning and Resource Mobilization, Gondwani Gondwe, is suggesting a hike in Science, Technology and Innovation Fund from 500 million kwacha to 1 billion kwacha to fully enhance research activities in public universities. Currently, discussions on research and innovation are underway at the Malawi University of Business and Applied Sciences, MUBAS.
Current challenge is that Malawi government that finances the Science, Technology and Innovation Fund is supporting the Commission, and it's also supporting the universities, including MUBAS. So MUBAS this year, they have about 450 million kwacha in the science fund for them. The Commission has 500 million kwacha in the STI fund. So you can actually see that the 500 million kwacha in the S&T fund for the Commission, it is not adequate for the Commission to support the work that the universities are doing in the research and innovation space. So we were actually lobbying Treasury for at least a 1 billion kwacha funding into the S&T fund so that we can actually scale up funding towards research and innovation across universities, including MUBAS.
Opposition Democratic Progressive Party DPP says all is set for its elective conference scheduled for this weekend at Comesa Hall in Blantyre. Chairperson for the conference, Dr. George Chabonda, says 2,600 delegates are expected to attend the conference pegged at over 500 million kwacha. Elijah Pompo has sent us this report.
Chairperson for the Democratic Progressive Party DPP elective conference, Dr. George Chaponda says over 500 million kwacha is expected to be used for the convention, which he says the party has mobilized through nomination fees. Chaponda says all positions for the party will be up for grabs, except for the party's president, whose incumbent Peter Mutharika will go unopposed. Among others, the DPP says it has invited leaders from other opposition political parties, namely AFOD, UTM and UDF, as a sign of solidarity.
We have invited AFOD, we have invited UDF, we have invited UTM, because UTM will be joining the opposition. So our numbers are increasing, so which is good. It will be interesting to see the parliament when it starts on the 26th. But it means that we have friends.
The DPP convention comes after a protracted battle for the same, which saw other members for the party calling for an early convention immediately after the party had lost power in 2020.
And finally, in sports, the Council of Southern African Football Association says Malawian referees should embrace modern technology to enhance their chances of international assignments. According to COSAFA's referees instructor Felix Tangawarina, football has been modernized in all aspects, since the need for Malawi's match officials to move with time and align themselves with the technology. Meanwhile, elite referees are undergoing a video assistant referee VAR simulator course in Blantyre. And that's what we had time for in this edition of the news. Before we leave you, a reminder for more. I am Chancellor Mozabanda. Thanks for watching and have a lovely afternoon.
We asked the children, how many of you brushed this morning? And this little boy, his hand didn't go up. And I said, well, why didn't you brush this morning? He said, my brother was using the toothbrush. If I'd waited for him, I would have been late for school. I'm sorry, I get a bit emotional when